Alexander Volkanovski is hands down the most dangerous fighter out there. Along with being the current UFC featherweight champion, he also happens to be the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the entire world. And since the champ is eyeing a move-up, he thinks it's the perfect time to settle his unfinished business with the notorious Conor McGregor. Keep watching this video as we tell you more about Volka's plan to fight the Irishman. First up, some unfinished business. Alexander Volkanovski is one of, if not the greatest featherweights of all time. He's put away some of the biggest names in the division, including the likes of Max Holloway and Brian Ortega. He's undefeated in his last 12 fights and boasts an amazing professional MMA record of 25 wins, coming at just 1 loss. But if we're talking legacy, the Aussie has pretty much everything to go down as the GOAT of the division except one thing: a win over the former featherweight champion of the UFC, Conor McGregor. And it still feels like I've got unfinished business in the featherweight division because I've beat every other champ except for Conor. But since Volka is positive the fight can never happen in his current weight class, he's willing to take on the notorious at lightweight to finally settle their unfinished business. As much as we'd like to see this happen, we think it'll be nothing short of a mauling for the Irishman. Maybe if Conor was still that hungry and ambitious fighter, he'd have a chance, but given how he's been fighting for the past couple of years, it would be an easy job for the Aussie to wrap things up and seal the deal. If you ask us, we think Alex should just come clean and take notes from Charles Oliveira. It's super obvious he wants a money fight, and what better way to get it than to fight the biggest entertainer in the UFC's history. Next, don't mess with Mini Khabib. Did you know Volkanovski almost forgot he had unfinished business with the Irishman? It's true, the Aussie went ages without talking about him, until he, Conor, finally tweeted a couple of low blows against Mini Khabib. Conor was pretty quick to delete the tweets, since he probably realized they were pretty uncalled for, but the former double champ should know by now that the internet never forgets anything. Fans were quick to take screenshots, including a lot of major websites reporting what he had tweeted the very next day. Word ultimately got out to Alex, and that's when he remembered he had some things to settle with the former double champ. He issued a fun warning to Conor, reminding him he'd have to go through him to get to Hezbollah. But yeah, we don't think their so-called feud is ever going to be anything more than a couple of tweets and internet callouts. And a lot of people don't realize this, but McGregor is a really smart guy. He's a master at promoting himself, and at this stage of his career, he's clever enough to be pushing a trilogy fight against Nate Diaz, because, well, it's obviously the easier fight. Guys like Volkanovski or Oliveira will just walk right over him inside the cage. Moving on, joining a rare airfield. It's not like the Aussie wants McGregor for his next fight or something. He actually has something else he wants before cashing out with a money fight. He wants glory. He wants to join the exclusive club of UFC double champs. But to do that, he'll have to move up a weight class and take on either Charles Oliveira or Islam Makhachev. While talking about his unfinished business with McGregor, Volkanovski also discussed his desire to become the first active double champion of the promotion. He did say that he's more interested in fighting the Brazilian, because not only is it going to happen sooner, but it's also the bigger fight. We're not sure why, but for some reason, Alex thinks he'll have to wait till the mid of 2023 to get a shot at the lightweight title if Islam has it. So the plan looks pretty simple for now. Fight the winner of UFC 280, become a certified double champion, cash out with a money fight. A decent plan to say the least. Now for a bit of a tangle. Unfortunately, Volka's dream plan isn't as simple as he thinks. There's actually a bit of a tangle going on that he's failed to realize. For starters, Alexander wants to fight Charles before McGregor, and for that to happen, the ideal situation would be if the Brazilian wins back the lightweight title. But even Charles has been pushing for a money fight against Conor McGregor for the past couple of months, and unlike Alex, he wants it at the start of 2023. So imagine this: Charles wins the lightweight title and chooses to go after the Irishman instead of Volkanovski. There goes his dreams of becoming a double champ and fighting Conor. Obviously, he'll get a shot at the title eventually, but it'll involve a lot more waiting than he originally calculated. And we haven't even talked about what would happen if Islam ends up winning. Charles would probably still go after a money fight, while Alex would have to wait till mid-2023 now to fulfill his dreams of becoming the first active double champion of the UFC. So yeah, we said it before and we'll say it again. This is a fight that will never materialize. materialize. We actually think it won't even move past the internet stage if we're being honest. Time for some more on the UFC. Up next, the Diaz way. Nate Diaz has signed off with a bang following his victory over the equally respected Tony Ferguson at UFC 279. He spent the past 2 months training for Khamzat, but despite the last-minute change, the Stockton slugger was still able to put on a solid performance against El Cucuy. But here's the interesting bit. Did you know he learned how to fight Ferguson by watching a video? Yep, that's right. When a reporter asked Nate about the last-minute reshuffle, he said that he had no idea how to fight Tony since he had been training for Shimaev. He also said that he'd have to watch a video of Ferguson fighting to learn his style and make a strategy. Later that night, Nate was at some concert watching a video of Tony fighting while banging his head to the music. Honestly, this is why the UFC loves him so much. He's a legend of the sport. There's even a video making rounds of both Diaz brothers casually training inside a fast food restaurant prior to UFC 279. Now for Khamzat Shimaev. There's still 2 stories going around, with one of them being Khamzat choosing not to cut weight, and the other being the doctors advising him against it. But thankfully, his coach has cleared everything up, saying Khamzat had a botched weight cut that really messed him up. Every time he started to cut more weight, he'd start getting cramps, puking, and even faint whenever he got up. Andreas Michael, Khamzat's coach, says that he hates cutting weight, and all he wants to do is train and eat. So despite being super close to the welterweight title, it seems like his next fight is going to be in the middleweight division. We're not too sure about his opponent, but Paulo Costa has been talking a lot about him on Instagram, sharing memes and funny pictures. It's not going to happen anytime soon though, since Paulo is suffering from a broken hand, but if you ask us, it seems like the most doable fight at this point. Also, we think Khamzat and his whole invincible status is in for a real shakedown if he's serious about fighting at middleweight. That division is full of mean monsters. Last but not least, Kevin started it. We told you guys, things will start to clear up as the days go by. We're already starting to find out everything that happened at UFC 279, and contrary to what a lot of people are saying, Li Jingliang claims it was Kevin who started the brawl. Apparently, Li and Kevin were standing in a line to get on a stage when Khamzat walked in. Jingliang claims Khamzat walked up to them to say hello, but Holland thought he was being aggressive and pushed him real hard. That obviously didn't sit too well with the Wolf, and he came up with a few kicks and punches of his own to settle the score. This led to a full blown-out brawl, with Li having to separate the two by grabbing Khamzat from the back and pulling him away from Holland. Class act once again by Li. He continues to prove he's a pure gentleman. Let's not forget that Khamzat and Jingliang have both fought already, and for him to show so much heart by pulling him apart to prevent anyone from getting hurt is pure class. Give Li a money fight already. That's it from our side, folks. So what do you think? Does it sound like Alexander has a one-sided affair with the Notorious? And is he just trying to chase a money fight? Let us know in the comments below. Remember, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more entertaining content in the future. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.